Hi, I'm Greg Braxton with the Los Angeles Times, and we're here today talking with Lili Taylor of American Crime, one of the greatest shows of the past two seasons, a real hallmark of TV. Your performances, you've played two very different characters these past two seasons, but your performance this season of Anne Boleyn was so wrenching and just so heartbreaking, playing a single mother who's struggling with her son being victimized by members of this basketball team. You've had such a long, esteemed career. What does American Crime mean to you? What does it represent to you? Because it seems like such a provocative and unusual show, especially for network television.
You know, it means a lot to me because it means acting wise, it's collaborative and it's very creative and we're all at the top of our game. But I'm just realizing in answering your question, it's satisfying me on like a political level, which I don't usually think about because that's not I got to work on the emotions and the feelings, and not so much on the logic or the head. And but it's satisfying me politically, and it's satisfying me in terms of the end result is as good as I was hoping. And that doesn't happen a lot. So usually I do things for the experience and then let go. But the whole thing has been from A to Z it's been the best job I've ever had.
What were you expecting when you first got involved with the show?
You know, I knew the part. I knew I was a patient. I knew I was a victim's advocate. So I knew there's only so much a victim's advocate. Are you okay? What can I do? It's limited, and that's fine. I think John's terrific. I thought, I'm working with a really talented guy. We're going to be getting into some good stuff. I had no idea how deep John is. His commitment to the truth, to authenticity. I didn't know what a great man he was.
Wow. This season you played the mother, single mother of a son who is the victim of a rape. When you first, by members of a basketball team, which is it's very much, this kind of subject matter is very much in the headlines today. What was your reaction when you first saw what you were going to play this season?
Well, first off, I had a daughter. And I've been following all of these campus rapes and so on. And I thought it was great. And I had just finished Crack Hours Missoula. I was great. And then John called about a month before we began. He said, I'm going to change it. It's going to be a boy now. And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what, that's brilliant. Because, it felt a little too easy in a way, kind of open and shut case with it being a girl. But now with a boy, we're getting into all sorts of complicated stuff.
What is the difference?
The difference is first off, a lot of people don't understand it, don't know it. A lot of their biases come up, more biases than I think that come up with girls. I think even John said, he goes, I consider myself, I'm a black man, I'm liberal. I thought that I knew my biases. Even he was coming up against stuff about what he thought a boy was or what he thought could happen to a boy or all that stuff that we come up against, And I thought that to getting into sports and the masculinity and how kind of this sort of patriarchal sort of perverted, morphed or mutated masculinity, how we focus on the girls having suffering, but I think the boys, we have to focus on the boys also, or we're not going to get to the bottom of any of this.
Right. There was a delicacy in your performance because you're sort of caught in the middle in this situation. You're caught between this head mistress who is rather insensitive to the boy and his mother and their situation, and yet your son is also fighting against you because he's so mortified and humiliated by the situation, and he doesn't want his mother to really get involved. He just wants it to go away. he just wants this all just to vanish. What was that like in sort of playing that balance of being caught in the middle of those two dynamics?
Well, you know, for me, I had to kind of keep my mouth shut around with her in a way, because you know sometimes I want to just say you need to listen to him, but she had a bit of, I think her heart was so broken that it sort of dominated. It sort of took over her logic or her receptivity, and I think it got a little vigilant and purposeful, which sometimes when you get like that, you lose kind of, oh, I'm not even taking him in right now.
Right, right.
But she wasn't conscious of that, so I didn't have to. She didn't have to worry about that. But I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Was that difficult for you? Because as an audience member, seeing that, sometimes we've definitely felt for your situation, but we also felt for your son's situation too, Connor's situation, because you could see that he was just aching and wanting his mother to really see what he was going through and just to stop.
You know, one reason I think John is so smart is because keeps pushing up against the way we think things are. And right when we're sort of comfortable, he takes us on a quick left or a quick right, and now we're kind of thrown. And that's actually so good for human beings. They say, like, when you get older, like, more than an instrument, like, take a class with something you disagree with. Because that's when the brain starts really firing. And I think all of us are just, he loves the gray. And I know it's like, even me, I was confused. I was like, I thought I got this, and now I'm confused, you know? So what you're saying is, I think it's great. That tension is fantastic.
What were those scenes like with your son? Because the interaction and this actor was a novice actor, very inexperienced as especially in relation to you, and your scenes were so intense together. What was that like, and how did you deal with the chemistry between you two?
You know, we got lucky. I mean, in some ways it's a throw of the die. Like, it's sort of like the kids you get. Either you get, you get what you get. And we ended up getting great stuff. We really just love each other. We just do. And we're really simpatico. And so, and every day we say we're lucky. We're really lucky. Because it was just us. And I love him. And I think his feelings are right there. I think he's really intelligent. He's writing a movie. He's going to direct a movie. I'm going to be in it. I'll do anything for him. I think he's lovely.
So how did you prepare for the role? What was your research in preparing to channel Anne?
You know, first off, like, I'm from the Midwest, so I kind of got that. John does so much work with the biography, which I love, because I'm not great at actor biographies. I'm more good, like, filling in the scene. But I'm not great at she was born in, I don't know why, I just don't like it. But John gave all of it to me, and so it was all there. So I just sort of stepped inside. And because the writing is so good, and because I'm at a certain age too, you know, Sanford Meisner, the great acting teacher, he said he thinks it takes about 20 years to learn how to act. And I'm actually a little over 20 years, so maybe I'm a little past that. But I think I'm starting to feel that, and I sort of feeling like the feelings or emotions are just sort of, there's not as many snags along the way. They're just sort of coming up, and so I felt for her. And I just felt for her.
What was the in the arc of the character? What was the hardest phase of playing her, or not the hardest, but the most challenging for you to play?
Well, you know what was hard, because it was moving fast, like social media. So in a way, I actually made a calendar because I needed to really get clear on it's the next day or it's 2 days have passed, and I needed that timeline to locate me, which helped. But really, I think, okay, you know what the hardest was? I was going to say, just staying in that kind of intensity as an actor was just sort of like training or something. But really, the hardest part was when he was in jail, and he didn't want any more help, and he was going to just let go. was so hard. That's when I felt a despair, because she always had something to do, but then when she had nothing more to do when he was in jail and when he was gonna give up, and that was awful.
Because before she was driven by the desperation of she was the only one fighting for him, and then he just gave up.
He did, and that was very uncomfortable. And that's where I had to realize, like, I felt uncomfortable, me, and I had to realize there's a bleed over. There's the bleed over from I'm in a prison room. My son might be in prison for life. He doesn't want help. There's no avenues open. Of course I feel a little uncomfortable, Lily, you know?
Sure. We were talking about you and your son. When I spoke with Felicity about this, and she was talking about the scenes with you and how intense they were, and she was expecting intensity, but you went in a direction that she said totally just like threw her, because she was expecting something, and then your dynamics just kind of really floored her, and she realized, boy, this is a real serious and intense situation. What were those scenes like with her?
Well, one of the great things about working, being different characters but working with the same troupe, is that we all are starting to develop a depth and layers, and so that came into play. So we have a shorthand now. We have something, and she's a powerhouse, and I think she's great, and I knew we were going to be going, yeah. Now, Regina was a little scared. When I knew Regina was going to be coming in at me,
Right.
I said to John, oh, shoot. She's going to be coming in. She's going to be coming in. Oh, no, Regina, who I hadn't had any scenes with. Oh, she's coming in, and we're going to be going toe-to-toe. That's what I have to do with Regina. So,
that was a little more.
Yeah, that was hard, but I just took it. John wanted me to fight back a little bit, but I just didn't want to. Not with where she was at.
Really?
No, because it's almost like it's not, she's so upset with what's going on with her, and I know because I've been through it.
Sure.
Just step back and let her have her craziness.
How would you have reacted? How would Lily have handled the situation, do you think?
Jesus Christ. Ooh, it makes me just hurt right now. I almost could tear up thinking about it, Oh man, I don't know. I mean, it's tough. It's really tough. And I think the thing that I like also what John's doing is that he's playing humans that don't know. And a lot of parents I talk to were like, I don't know what to do with my kid right now, and your character kind of doesn't either, but at least I'm watching someone who's trying to figure it out,
Playing a character is this intense. When you're off camera, how does it stay with you? Is it something that it's hard to get rid of when you're going home or when you're away from how constant is this character with you? Because it's just so deep, and your portrayal was just so deep. How much does it live with you when you're not on camera?
A lot. And so it's finding ways, the Greeks, one reason they had the masks was also to protect the actor back then, and we don't have that now. We don't have something to protect us. And theater has a few more rituals. You wipe your feet at the door, to let your life leave your life, and then you wipe your feet to leave the character there, Now I had a wig, and that helped. And I started to feel really, my heart was just hurting too much. And I needed to do something, so I would do a little something with the wig, just sort of leaving it there. Saying, you stay here and I'm going back to my life now, But that only worked so well. So then I started to do karaoke. I started to swim after work at the Barton Springs, at this natural spring, and just try to live with the uncomfortableness as best I could.
What about gearing up for it? Like when you're getting ready to just dive into this hurting mother, how did you How did you prepare for that? How did you get into her head?
Um, you know, I imagine a lot. I imagine what's come before. I imagine where she's heading to, and then I imagine all the stuff that's happening, and we're in contact. So I'm letting her know I'm with her. And I basically, I'm a channel for her. And she just go.
But would you have to be in a quiet place? Would you have to just sort of isolate yourself? How would you, mentally, how did you prepare?
Okay, well, you know something? I think for me, what works best now is almost being quiet, and there's this breathing app that it's just in, out, but it slows your breathing down. And I listen to that, and I just sort of, I'm ready to, like if someone attacked me, I would probably kill them because I'd be so ready to, it's not like I'm relaxed. I'm kind of in this about to pounce mode, but I'm just sort of, and then action, boom, you know? And then I go back and I just go back, and the AD's great about finding me a corner and a water bottle, and I go back and I just sort of sit and I so it's almost like I'm in the corner in the ring, I guess, you know, and then I go in.
Then you go in. You've had such an amazing gallery of characters, both in television and in film. Where would you place Anne in this whole gallery of yours? Because you said this is one of the best jobs, or the best job that you've ever had. Where would you place her?
I'd place it at the top. I would. I mean, Warhol's up there because, again, it was a collaborative relationship with Mary Harron, and we sort of, you know, Valerie was only in a few history books. We had to really figure her out. So we figured her out, and it was so collaborative. And I could ask Mary anything, and she would have an answer. With John, I could ask John anything, and he will have an answer that I will believe with Anne, you know? So I felt so much for her. I knew her really well. It was just the best. She's up there, probably in the top two.
Top two, really?
Yeah.
What's been the reaction when people see you on the street or out? What has been their reaction to your character? Or do they come up and talk to you about it? Or what has that been like?
It's been great. And that makes it so much nicer, you know, because it's not always great, or I play a character that's more complicated and people have more conflicted feelings and they project more like, oh my God, I hate her so much, which isn't fun to hear all the time.
Sure.
Like Felicity got that last season.
Right.
That was really hard. I feel that's tough. But no, what I got was compassion, and I got appreciation for the subject matter, for being kind of trying to figure this stuff out, going through it. And I got appreciation for the acting.
Was this from
Flight attendants to people on the street. Like, I knew it was going to be a nice ride.
Sure.
The first episode aired, I was on the plane. 3 flight attendants got me in the back, you know, when I was going to the bathroom, which was fine. And they just were like, one of them was like, I have a kid. I don't know what the hell to do with the iPhone. I don't know what to do with the social media. The other one was like, oh my God, you know, how did you do? You know, it just was like, yeah, this is going to be a nice ride.
One of the biggest reactions during the ABC Upfront was the announcement that American Crime is going to be back next season. I mean, there was like a cheer. There was like a big, big ovation because this show is so respected and so acclaimed. Hopefully, you're going to be involved with the show next season.
Yeah.
Anything that you can tell us or that you know about?
Well, it's not a comedy.
Obviously.
Yeah, it's not at all. You know, it's about the haves and have-nots.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's even getting into workers and abusive workers. And yeah, I think it's getting into some, I don't know everything because John doesn't say it all, which is fine. And I know it's okay. He lets me know what I need to know.
But obviously you're looking forward to it.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's so great. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
Just,
you.
I'm such an admirer of yours and your performance, and the show, I think, is just top notch, and you're a great part of it, and thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. For more news about American crime, Lily, and other TV news, please turn to latimes.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.